fellow Falcoholics. Welcome to the first non-live edition of the Falcoholic Live. I am your host, Kevin Knight, on Twitter at FalcoholicKevin, here to bring you some analysis of the Falcons. So today we're going to be taking a closer look at Matt Ryan's 3-interception day against the Chargers. Definitely one of the weakest performances of his 2020 season. So we're going to break that down. I know there's been a lot of, quarterback controversy talk and all this stuff. And Matt Ryan certainly didn't help things with his performance today, but we're going to take a closer look at these three plays. We're going to try to, drill down, take a look at the personnel, take a look at the play call and the routes on these particular plays, find out who's to blame, whether it's Matt Ryan, Dirk Cutter, somebody else. So we're going to dive right into that. The first play we're going to take a look at is the Rayshon Jenkins interception on a target to Calvin Ridley in the third quarter. So this is Matt Ryan's first interception. The play design was pretty weird. As you can see, the Falcons are in a rare personnel grouping. This is 22 personnel. So we've got 2 tight ends, and then we have 2 running backs. So we got Gurley and the fullback Keith Smith, and then we have Luke Stalker and Jaden Graham with just one wide receiver. That's Calvin Ridley down there, who will be the target of the play. But 22 personnel is not particularly common in the NFL. It's kind of a weird personnel grouping, so strange choice here for this shot play, but they were clearly trying to fool the Chargers into making them think it was some sort of run play. And they got the look that maybe they wanted, because this is going to be cover 1. So we've got one deep safety here, and then we've got a corner playing a little bit off on Calvin Ridley, and Ridley's going to run this little up and out route here deep, whereas Jaden Graham's going to try to be kind of the beater here, where he's going to try to take the coverage away from Ridley by running up and over and forcing the safety to pick which one he's going to cover. Obviously, the safety's going to choose Calvin Ridley. I would think that would be obvious, but the Falcons were determined to run this play, so let's see how it turns out. And guess what? It doesn't turn out so great. So you guys know what happens. The safety does break towards Ridley almost immediately, and he's right there to make the pick. So this is a bad play for a lot of reasons. Matt Ryan had many opportunities to see that the safety was coming to cover Ridley and to change the throw, but because of the play design, he really only has 2 choices with the ball. He can either throw to Jaden Graham or Calvin Ridley, because guess what? There are no more receivers. Keith Smith is blocking. Luke Stalker is blocking. Like I said, weird play design. So at what point in the play does Matt Ryan realize, or should he realize, that he shouldn't throw this ball to Calvin Ridley? Let's find out. So still safety hasn't committed. All right, right here, the safety has started to commit. Right here, at this moment, he has started to turn to cover Ridley's side of the field, and he is not biting on Jaden Graham. Now, as you watch the play, you'll actually see that Jaden Graham might be open here. So, safety has already started to go towards Ridley. The corner's actually in pretty good position, picking up the underneath. Jaden Graham has a little bit of separation. He would have been the better target on the throw, but Matt Ryan throws to Calvin Ridley, and the safety is in great position and makes the play. Calvin Ridley cannot get in front of the ball. So this is a play that you expect your wide receiver 1 to make generally, but it was a throw into double coverage. Calvin Ridley is not known for his ability to win these contested balls, and he's not particularly tall either, so he can't really outreach these players either. So just an ill-advised throw, especially when you consider that Jaden Graham had, a handful of steps on his defender. So here's Jaden Graham. The safety is breaking towards Ridley. Graham has a few steps. If Ryan throws this ball instead towards Jaden Graham, I think this could have been a touchdown, assuming the ball is placed well. But he throws to Ridley in double coverage because he trusts Ridley a lot more than Jaden Graham. Not that you blame him, but it was a very, very risky decision and not a decision that I would generally agree with. So that's why we got a pick there. All right, pick number 2. This one is much simpler to explain, much more egregious on Matt Ryan's part. We can see here the Falcons are in 11 personnel. We've got 3 receivers, and we've got 1 tight end in Hayden Hurst, along with 1 running back, obviously, in the backfield with Ryan. So with this play, we'll go ahead and show there actually is a little bit of pre-snap motion. So, props to Cutter for putting in that motion there. So we see Hayden Hurst change sides there. So that changes up the coverage a little bit. The Chargers don't really reveal much. So Ryan probably didn't get what he was hoping for with someone shifting here. So Hayden Hurst, as you guys probably remember from the game, is going to run this little route here and then kind of sit down in the zone and wait for Ryan. And the safety here, Jaleel Adai, is not fooled for 1 second because Ryan stares him down the entire time, and he can just break on the ball and get an easy pick here. So let's watch the play, and then we'll come back and evaluate what exactly went wrong. So we see Hayden Hurst breaking here. We see Russell Gage kind of running a route here, trying to take attention away, but the safety reads the throw the whole way because Ryan's staring down Hayden Hurst, and it doesn't get much easier than that. I mean, obviously, you have to have some speed to break on that ball, but that's about all you need because you don't have to do much, in terms of instincts or any sort of advanced, skills to be able to see that, hey, Matt Ryan's staring at this guy the whole time. So to illustrate that, just watch Ryan's eyes here as he gets the ball. He immediately looks to the side of the field, and that defender, man, he is just waiting. He is lurking there, just waiting to take that ball away. This is a weird play. I mean, it's generally one that you'd like to see develop a little bit quicker. But yeah, like Hayden Hurst just comes here and stops. And this is when the ball needed to have been arriving. Like Ryan needed to throw the ball like now if he wanted to complete this pass, but he does not. He waits. He gets that little hitch there, and that's the difference between a completion and an interception. Because there was no chance for Hurst after that. Like he hitched it and then threw it to, like he pump faked and then threw it to the guy he pump faked to. And it doesn't get much easier than that. So you can't do that. That's something I'm sure Matt Ryan would want to get back. You absolutely cannot pump fake and then throw to the guy you were pump faking to, because the point of the pump fake is to pull a defender in, and he just pulled him in to the guy he was going to throw the ball to. So don't do that going forward, Matt Ryan, please. All right, this is pick number 3, the game sealer, the dagger in the back of the Falcons. Just a really poor play. As you'll see, this is a play that had the potential to work. The play design was fine. The execution was fine. The route by Ridley was fine. What was not so fine was the ball placement by Matt Ryan as he threw the ball very far behind Calvin Ridley. And it was an easy play for the defender to make, who actually had pretty good positioning on the play. To grab the underthrow. Not so great positioning if Ryan had actually thrown this ball where it was supposed to be, but we will see that here. So first thing we'll notice is Dirk Cutter throws in a little pre-snap motion. So you know what? Thank you, Dirk Cutter. Like we can praise Dirk Cutter from time to time. So thank you for throwing in a little bit of pre-snap motion. This actually does give the Falcons some information about the coverage that the Chargers are running, and tells Matt Ryan that Calvin Ridley should have a one-on-one matchup here, which he ends up having. On this play, we're going to see Ridley run this little route here and then go to the sideline. So this is a really good play to run in this game situation. As you guys know, this is the very end of the game. There's not much time left. There's not many timeouts. So the Falcons need to get plays that are going to be quick hitting, that are going to be safe, that are going to get some chunk yardage, but also have an opportunity for the Falcons to get out of bounds. And this corner is really the only one that's in position to make the play. He's going to be trying to decide what Ridley's going to do. He has to make a read on this play and decide to sit on this area here, or cover the sideline, or cover deep. And the corner actually reads the play well. He ends up being in perfect position for what Ryan throws, not necessarily for the route that Ridley runs, but we will see that here. So Ridley's going to come out. He's going to hit his break here, and the defender's going to pick it off. So there's a lot of problems with this play. Let's start at when the ball is thrown. So this is probably a timing route, and Matt Ryan is maybe expecting, something else here. I think this ball is thrown a little early, personally. I don't know what they practiced. I can't, say for certain. But Ryan's throwing the ball right here, and Ridley is just getting out of his break. So generally, this ball would probably be thrown a little bit closer to the sideline. So you'd think Ridley's going to be catching the ball like here, somewhere in this area, and then running out of bounds. Ridley's still got to come all the way over here. So the fact that the ball is thrown now means that it's going to be placed here when it should probably be placed here. So let's see, what happens here. So the ball's thrown a little bit early. Ridley's getting out of his break, and the corner is actually kind of beaten at this point. But because Ryan throws the ball behind Ridley, it's a pick. And that's sad because Ridley actually beats the guy with his break here. He starts to get a little separation, especially if the ball is thrown right. So this is the part of the play where Ryan should be, targeting Ridley, because he's going to come down here and he's going to try to catch the ball, here, and then toe tap out of bounds. But the ball is thrown like here, and we all know what happens. It's picked off by the opponent, and Ridley looks surprised because why is the ball there? So it was just thrown behind him. Ridley wasn't super open on the play, but I think Ryan threw that ball a little bit early. As you could see, back here, he was under a bit of duress. The pressure was closing in. He probably had maybe, a quarter second longer to get that ball off. But, he didn't have a ton more time, so it's not like he was in a perfectly clean pocket. But, I think if he had stood in there and been a little bit more patient, that ball would have been placed better. And it could have been a successful play that put them really, in field goal range. It might have iced the game for him. Instead, it's a pick. Unfortunate timing there, unfortunate ball placement. You generally expect a better thrown ball from Ryan there. But, everyone makes mistakes. Ryan did not have a good game today, and this play was kind of just the sum of all the evils that we witnessed in this one. Well, there you have it, guys. Matt Ryan's no good, very bad day against the Chargers. 3 interceptions, most of which were actually his fault. So the Matt Ryan haters, I'm sure, are going to be very fired up by this performance. I think this is arguably Ryan's worst game of the season. I mean, the timing was off on one of these throws, the ball placement was off on one of these throws, and then the first interception was just kind of a bad decision where if he had chosen Jaden Graham, it might have been a touchdown. So obviously a game that Matt Ryan's going to want to have back, and it's unfortunate timing for him because fair or not, Matt Ryan's going to be judged harshly on these last few games by a new coaching staff that doesn't have the loyalty to him, that doesn't have the years and years of really good play under their belts, that they can trust this guy. So these last few games are critical for Ryan, and he's going to need to avoid having any more performances like this to really secure his place with the team long term. We're going to have more videos up about Matt Ryan's future and his contract and things like that going forward that'll get into more of those details, but for now, this is our analysis of his game against the Chargers, and it's a big thumbs down. So I have confidence that Matt Ryan can bounce back. He's going to have some tough tests coming up against the Bucs and against the Chiefs. So the road doesn't necessarily get any easier for Ryan, but this is kind of an uncharacteristic game from him. Every once in a while he'll have these sort of games. It calls to mind a little bit the Cardinals, infamous Cardinal 5-8 game where the Falcons actually won that game, and honestly, they probably should have won this one too. But, it's a bad game for Ryan. He'll move on. I'm not concerned about him long-term, just an off day. But guys, we do appreciate you tuning in. if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can check us out on Patreon. And a reminder that we also do live shows on Wednesdays at 8-10 p.m. Eastern, and also we do post-game shows that are a lot of fun immediately after the conclusion of the games on Sundays. So we hope to see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time, guys.